This episode, we are talking about hiring mistakes. Which, if you've been paying attention for the last couple of mistakes, you know that it's likely your fault. It's likely your fault. You don't actually know how to hire. Just because you are an entrepreneur, you're a CEO now, you think that you actually know how to hire, but you don't know how to hire. If you have a small team, even one person that has a bad attitude can bring down the morale of everybody else. I know the pressure that you're under as an entrepreneur. This is your baby. If you're a perfectionist on top of it, God help you. Nobody can do it how you can do it. But you need to be able to delegate. You need to be able to trust your people. You need to be able to create a plan for your people. Welcome back to the Entrepreneurship Unfiltered podcast. I am your host, Ibiyemi, an entrepreneur who has made a lot of mistakes and is here to share them with the world, with the internet. That is what I'm doing. Yes, I've already committed to it. So welcome back. I hope you have enjoyed the last two episodes. Put in the comments what you loved most, any feedback you want for us. Again, if your feedback is rubbish, keep it to yourself. But welcome back. I'm so happy to chat with you again. This episode, we are talking about hiring mistakes. Which, if you've been paying attention for the last couple of mistakes, you know that it's likely your fault. It's likely your fault. Hiring the wrong person, not necessarily knowing when to let them go, not knowing how much to pay, not knowing how to lead, those are all on you. So it's really, really important that you take notes if you're really struggling with somebody that you hired, because it's likely your fault. Okay. So what are the major mistakes? What are the things that are actually your fault? That's what I want to talk about now, right? Some of the main challenges that we see when it comes to hiring is that you don't actually know what you need. You start your business, you're a one-man show, you're a one-woman show. You're killing it. You're doing the things that you need to be doing. You think to yourself, you know what? I would like some help. But you haven't actually evaluated what you need the help for. So you go out and you do one of two things. You either hire really expensive, so someone that looks flashy on paper, someone that is gonna elevate your brand, or you hire really cheap. So you go and you get an intern that literally has never worked before. You get your little niece to come and help you out. I actually have a story. So I remember this is a couple years ago now. It's maybe 6 years ago. And I was hiring and I went the route of too cheap. And I went to Indeed and I hired some interns for the summer. The girl was fantastic. She took everything I was saying. She completed her work on time. Everything was fantastic. And then one day she just ghosted me. She literally stopped messaging. She stopped answering my messages, stopped answering my calls. I found her on Instagram. I sent her DMs. I found her on Facebook. I went back to her university, ghosted. Till today. Till today. I have no idea what happened to this woman. I hope that she has moved on to other opportunities. So taking a step back to figure out what it is that you actually need is going to be super helpful for you in the beginning, right? Do you need extra hands or do you need another head, right? Extra hands is, okay, I'm busy. I just need someone that is going to be able to take instructions and run with it, right? So do this, do that. So that's usually virtual assistant, admin, that kind of stuff. Extra head is likely maybe a co-founder, right? Someone that can also think of strategy, someone that can also develop the plan, right? What do you actually need? I find that most people make mistakes because they're just I need help, and then they just go for the wrong help. That's one of the most common mistakes I see. Another one is you don't actually know how to hire. Just because you are an entrepreneur, you're a CEO now, you think that you actually know how to hire, but you don't know how to hire, right? If they were to ask you now, what's your job description? Would you even know what to present to them? Also, I say them because are you hiring by yourself or are you using an agency? I use an agency. I love them. They're fantastic. I actually plug them in. They're called Your Virtual Ally. So YVA, I've been selling your markets since 2023. But if you're looking for a virtual assistant, check them out. They're fantastic. But are you using an agency or are you doing it independently? Are you just creating a quick Canva graphic and putting it in your stories and saying you're looking for staff? Are you doing that? And then when you get into the interview, do you actually have questions to ask? Or are you just vibing with your potential staff? Are you actually asking the right questions? Or are you just testing to see whether or not they'll vibe with your organization? When you're an entrepreneur, every single hire is so important. So if you leave it to chance or you leave it to vibes, you might get a vibes employee. Have I made that mistake before? I don't think so. I think because my background is hiring, my background is HR, I actually know how to hire. Firing, that's another story. I don't know the last time I actually fired someone and I didn't agonize over it for months. Even people that were not a good fit. I remember I hired somebody at the beginning stages of my business and I knew almost immediately that she was not the right fit. But I stalled. But I need her. What about this? What about that? And what about her things? What about the things that she's planning? All these things. Except what about you? What about your business? What about your business needs? At the end of the day, the person is either like a good fit or not a good fit. Did you actually put in the efforts to train them? Do you have any systems set up? Do you even have a plan? Like, do you know where your business is going? If you don't know where your business is going, you don't have any system, you don't have a plan, you have no training, how is your staff supposed to know what to do? I felt this so deeply when I first started hiring, and there will be submitting work and I don't know where we are going. And I don't know how to say, please, I don't know where we are going because I'm the boss. I should know to an extent where we are going. So sometimes, it's really important to have a plan, which goes back to my first point of what do you actually need? If you're moving on vibes, you're not going to hire the right person. If you don't have a plan, that person is not going to succeed. You're kind of basically setting them up for failure. Do you see how I said it's all your fault? Don't take it too personally, but take it personally a bit. I think that because we know how to do the work, we think that we can teach somebody else to do the work like we do the work, right? I had a friend who, she's actually not an entrepreneur, she's just a leader. And she is a senior lawyer. And she does her junior's work. So you submit something to me, it's not up to my caliber. And instead of sending it back, she just fixes it. And she's just like, yeah, it'll just be easier if I fix it rather than, sending it back. You have to send it back. You have to. Because first of all, that person's not going to learn. You're doing them a disservice. And second of all, you end up just doing everybody else's work. I know the pressure that you're under as an entrepreneur. This is your baby. This is like your livelihood. If you're a perfectionist on top of it, God help you. Nobody can do it how you can do it. But you need to be able to delegate. You need to be able to trust your people. You need to be able to create a plan for your people. This is why this entrepreneurship journey has been so deeply discombobulating. But also transformative because it really just asks you to ask questions of yourself, of your character, right? If you get mad at your team, do you go back and you apologize? If somebody does something and they have apologized, do you forgive or do you hold it over their head and it's part of their performance evaluation and you never let it go? It's basically a character thing, right? But yeah, it's not easy. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's easy, but it's definitely one of the mistakes that I see. And then the last one is You know that this person's a red flag. But you don't want to be the bad guy. You're trying to be liked. You're trying to be the cool boss. CEO. Best in knowing everybody, knowing everyone's birthday. You're trying to play around. I get it. You want to create a comfortable work environment, but you don't want to create an environment where your team doesn't respect you. They don't submit their work on time. They don't, communicate effectively. You don't want that to happen either. So it's a really strong balance that you have to strike, because you're dealing with people who are here to support your vision. You are the one that has the vision. You have to make sure that they buy into that vision, or else you're on your own. And you have no one to blame but yourself, right? At the end of the day, I'm not trying to be harsh, right? This is a little bit of my coach hat coming on. I'm not trying to be harsh, but it's real. It's real life, right? Half of the reasons why we fail at some of these things is because we fail to check ourselves. We blame everybody else before we check ourselves to see, am I the problem? Like, could I be the problem? Is it me? Have you seen that meme where it's like, is it me, Jesus? Yes, it's you. It's likely you. If you're the common denominator, then it's you, sis. So if you see someone as a red flag, call it out. Call it out. You have to communicate. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be like, you're a red flag, F off. But you can communicate it effectively so that they know that, hey, the expectation in this workplace is at level X. You need to get there, or we need to figure out what the other plan is going to look like. I think that's it. I think that's what I have to say about common mistakes. I wanted us to go over some dilemmas, as we often do. We have one that was submitted by a really good friend of mine. So I've had this person on my team for 2 years, and she's been taking me for granted because I work a full-time job and I don't always have the time to double check her work. She consistently makes mistakes, sends the wrong payroll numbers. Like, she's literally cost my clients thousands of dollars just by sending the wrong messages. She ended up delaying somebody's starting letter, and I know the story, so I wanted to add a bit of color to it. But she ended up delaying someone's starting letter, and they had to. Their immigration status was affected. Can you imagine? You are a consultant. A company has hired you to do a job, and you mess up so badly that their business is being affected to this level. And that is directly because you haven't pulled the trigger on this person, right? Anyways, so that my dilemma here is, should I keep her on and start potentially looking for other people, knowing that I don't have the capacity to actually fire her? Meaning, if I fire her, I won't be able to, I'm paraphrasing because this thing is a bit confusing. I won't be able to do her work because I don't have the capacity. Okay, there's another dilemma here, but I'll answer this one first. So, that person is costing you. That's your reputation. That is your good name. That is the product that you're putting out there. If you are in a place where you're not able to really rein her in, so either correct those mistakes or tell her to be on her way, it's costing you, right? And I know you say, okay, you don't have the capacity to fire, you don't have the capacity to take on her work. You won't have it tomorrow, so you might as well do it today, right? There's something called the sunk cost fallacy, right? And it's this idea of you've put in so much effort into something that is not working, right? But you know that you need to pull the trigger, but pulling the trigger, it feels like you're abandoning that strategy, right? It's like people say to me, oh, I've been in a toxic relationship for 6 years. Do you want to make it 7? Do you want to be there for another year? Oh, but how am I going to start somewhere, right? So you can't afford to freeze in these type of moments, unfortunately. You can't afford to just be uncomfortable about doing the hard work. You have to just say, listen, this is not working out. Because it's not also free. You're also paying. Like, do you know how crazy it is? You're also paying. So this isn't working out. This and this and this is not working out. You have a month to fix it. If you can't fix it within the next month, you're out. Obviously, be a bit more tactful than what I just did. But that might be what you need to do. Because that person's costing your reputation. And also, it's giving you high blood pressure. Please, we're actually so young. Cannot be having high blood pressure because somebody did not send one document. Okay, let's look at the second dilemma. She's a good worker, but her attitude stinks. Yay. Do I suck it up because she's doing a good job? Or do I find someone else? Oh, it's like personality versus like work ethic and it's a tough one. And I've been there before. So my answer is it depends. If you have a small team, right, which you likely do because you're an entrepreneur, meaning less than 5 people, even one person that has a bad attitude can bring down the morale of everybody else. Like, at the end of the day, yes, we're there to work. We're there to, solve problems for our clients. But you also want to have fun, right? I'm assuming you left the corporate environment because it was too rigid and you had to work with people you don't want to work with. You didn't start your own business and quit and do your own thing to just face the same issue in your own company. So you either try to figure out why this person's attitude stinks. Sometimes it's not even about your work. Sometimes it's just their own life. Maybe they are going through a divorce. Maybe something happened in their own life, right? I've been there before. I've been that employee that has just been overwhelmed and affects the way that I show up. You sit down with your boss, they understand what it is that you're navigating, and then they're able to give you, other ways of showing up in the workplace. So you can either do that, or you have to really consider the rest of your team. Because one bad egg can spoil the whole bunch. It's really important that you take care of that, right? It's really, really important. Yeah. Hiring is definitely tricky because it's your vision, it's your baby. It's your name sometimes. And sometimes even if it's not your name, it's your brand. Also, did you know that people with ADHD are 300% likely to be entrepreneurs? Yeah. When I found that, I was like, fair enough. Because to be an entrepreneur, you need to wear multiple hats. And, ADHD, we're already having 6 concurrent thoughts. So reflection and homework for the audience. Ask yourself a few questions. What do you actually need? Like, be honest. Like, do you just need moral support? That's the thing. Call your other entrepreneur friends, right? The thing that nobody tells you is that when you quit your job, you don't have any coworkers. And you don't realize that coworkers are helpful. As human beings, we're a creature of community. So having coworkers is really helpful. The last thing I want you to reflect on is, where do you need to grow as a leader? Is it your patience? I know that I struggle with that sometimes because when the pressure is getting worse, you can tend to lean into scarcity, right? So where do you need to work on your leadership, right? This is where, God comes in when he talks about the fruits of the spirits and this idea of love, joy, peace, patience, long-suffering, self-control, all these things. These are all fantastic qualities that you need to build up as a leader. So go back into your own prayer closet or just your own room and do some journaling. Where do you actually need to improve on your leadership. And half the time, what you'll find is that it's actually your character, not your leadership. And it's not something that can be taught. I did an MBA in entrepreneurship, and we learned about leadership and wellness and workplaces of the future and mental health, all these things. And I still find myself being in meetings with my team and losing it. And it doesn't make me feel good. I have to go back and reflect often, like, why did I lose it? Oh, it's because you're stressed about money. Why are you stressed about money? Oh, because you feel like you're a failure. It can get dark very quickly. But if you just stop the spiral and then you work backwards, you're able to sort of come back out of it. And then just try to do it better next time. So that's it. That's all I have for you. Maybe in the comment section, put a comment down on what is one thing that you've learned about yourself since becoming an entrepreneur from a leadership perspective. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And again, please, if your comments is going to be rude, don't put it. Just don't put it. Just be nice. Remember, the best is yet to come.